So in the first video, we talked about transitioning from a target shooting environment to a tactical environment, and that all boils down to perfecting what's called the 4-point draw stroke. This is Dave at AFX Search, Licensed Investigators and Firearms Instructors. We're going to start talking about the draw stroke. There's 4 points to this draw stroke, but this video will only focus on the first one because it's really the most important. The first one is you're starting from an unarmed or low threat level environment. Your firearm is either going to be in a holster, it may be in a glove compartment, it may be in a dresser drawer, maybe somewhere other than pointed at a target. And so you have to get a grip on the firearm and get the gun ready to come into a fight. So typically if you're in a sidearm holster or maybe in the back holster, you already start to sense some kind of a threat. The first thing you want to do is get a good grip on the firearm. That's going to be the only time you're going to be able to grip it. You don't want to be fumbling around after you grip it the wrong way. So get used to getting that grip. One of the training environments that you can do at home is just grip the gun. Just grip it over and over. You don't have to draw the gun. You don't have to do anything else with it. Just get a grip. You'll get used to that muscle memory, where that gun's going to be found, how it's going to feel on your hand. And you'll notice, just for the sake of argument, we're using an inert plastic firearm for this training. That's all you really need. You don't need to have live firearms. You certainly don't need live ammunition for this kind of training. Just get that grip. You'll also notice that your support hand, some people call it weak hand, but you really want to call it support hand, goes right to the chest when you're gripping your firearm. The reason for that is, if your hand is anywhere other than into your chest, it means it can be out. And a lot of times if there's a threat, it might be kind of reflex action to kind of push that threat back or be away from it. The problem is later on, when that gun's in the fight, your hand is going to be in the line of fire. So get used to getting that hand somewhere secure. It also gives you a secure platform. At this point, your whole body is tensed up, ready to go. Your hand's on the gun, your other hand's rock solid, your feet are planted. Whether you go for an isosceles or weaver stance or some modified stance, everything at that point is active. You don't have anything hanging around, you don't have anything out flying around, everything is active. So that first step in the 4-point draw stroke, get your hand planted on the gun, get a good grip so you don't have to fumble with it later. Get your support hand planted on your chest. You'll need that later for your firearm. At that point, now you're ready. At this stage in the 4-point draw stroke, you don't even have to draw the gun. If the threat disappears at this point, you haven't presented a firearm, you haven't done anything to create a threat or aggression to another person. But get that grip ready to go. You can even do this a little more covert. If you're not sure if it's going to escalate, you can do this really without creating a threat environment for another person. The first step is the most important. Getting a good grip on the gun, making sure your finger's where it needs to be. You notice that the trigger finger is still on the slide. You haven't engaged the trigger while the firearm's in the holster. Making sure you keep good, safe muzzle and finger discipline. We'll go to the next step in the next video.